Good morning, everybody. Charlie, November Juliet 7 Victor here with Red Summit RF. Today I am continuing my Portable Morse Code Paddle series, and I'd like to welcome those of you back who have been following along. It's been a while since I've put out a video, but for those of you who are new to the series, I hope that you find these useful. I'm going to be reviewing a paddle by KM4CFT Jonathan. And so this is a paddle that I've had out in the field for several months. And so let's go ahead and get over onto the bench and take a look. Before I do that, make sure you check the video comments below. These comments sometimes have good information and follow-up from stuff that I have already said and in things past. So let's go ahead and get over to the bench and take a look. All right, here we are at the bench. I've been very impressed with Jonathan Kane, KM4CFT. I've talked to him at length about several products that he has developed and offers for sale on hamgadgets.com. And I won't be showing, a lot of those products will just be doing the key, but here's, for example, one of the things that he sells on there. It's the CFT1 Transceiver. I think a lot of people know about this, but not some of the other things that is offered at hamgadgets.com. So go ahead and check that out. But here's the key. I just want to make sure you guys know straight up. He did me a special favor and printed this case for me. This doesn't come with the case, but I think he has the plans if you guys want to print one yourself. I think it's pretty convenient to carry the paddle, so I like this. But what we're going to do is talk about the actual paddle today. So let me scoot this over to the side. I have here the KM4CFT Iambic Paddle, which he offers as kit form from that website, hamgadgets.com. And I won't be showing the kit build itself in this video, but I'll provide a review like I have done on the other paddles in this series. So this paddle is made for portable use, and it's really nice, affordable, and a good option for QRP rigs. And most of the components are made of this PETG 3D printed material, although you can see inside that some of the material there, the bolts and stuff, are metal. You can also see that it is a fully adjustable with the spacing and tension. The tension is spring driven. You can see the spring right in there, I think. Get it close enough to where you can see that spring in there, yeah. And then, of course, the spacing is right here is where the contacts are made. And you can adjust the tension. There's a little screw right here to adjust the tension for the spring. And then the contact spacing is done with those two, I don't know what those two screw heads or whatever they are. The design is very similar to the CW Morse pocket paddles. And in fact, Jonathan told me that he kind of looked at those paddles as his basis when he started making this paddle, and that he thought he just would improve upon the feel of the paddle and reduce the size and weight and just make it a little bit better. And so that's what he did. I'm going to go ahead and screw these back in, and we'll take a review here of the paddle and go through the rest of my thoughts on this after I do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the weight scale that I usually have right up in this area here, and we'll talk about that. So I'm going to bring the scale over and we'll get this weighed. Let's make sure it's zeroed out. All right, as you can see there, it's 38 grams, and I've actually weighed it, and it's been between 38 and 39, so that's pretty good. It weighs 38 grams without the TRS 3.5 millimeter cable. There are 3 cable lengths sold separately as options that you can add to the package if you want, but the 38 grams falls into the low weight category using my weight standards, and the comparison, if you do the CW Morse Pocket, is 65 grams. So that 39 is much lighter than that, and so Jonathan did a good job there. Now for the volume, we'll put that up here. This is just kind of a an example of some of the other keys that I've reviewed. You'll see the KM4CFT kit is there at 64.5 cubic centimeters. And then the CW Morse Pocket Paddle, that's at 114 cubics, and the Bengali Traveler is 243. Just kind of give you an idea of volume and how it compares in size. And I'll go ahead and maybe here in a little bit bring out the Pico Palm, so you can see I often compare other paddles to that Pico Palm, because just kind of give people a perspective. So, you know, the length's 8.5 centimeters, the width is 3.3, and the length is 2.3, so the total volume is 64.5. And so it's really in the, I would say, the smaller category. As I mentioned earlier, to make adjustments to the lever contacts here, you just take these screws and you move them in and out, and that takes care of that. The tension spring is done with this one on the side, and so it's fully adjustable. I really like the improvements that Jonathan's made on recessing these screws inside the encasing a little bit, because as you know, the CW Morse had those protruding, and as you were holding the paddle, sometimes they would interfere. But this definitely does not happen with this paddle, so that's a good thing. As far as mounting goes, it's built in with these magnets here in the bottom, which is great. You can attach it to your rig or to a metal plate of some sort. I have right here the leg plate and strap to the to this paddle that you can get as an additional $14.95. You can add that to the package. And let me just pull that out of the package here real quick, just to give you a shot at it. So it's pretty cool. Just a metal plate here with the leg strap and which is velcroed, and it sits right on there, and away you can go with that on your leg. Not bad. Okay, so the agility of this paddle, I've used it for quite a lot of my activations over the past few months, several months in fact, and even through, even though it's a spring loaded, I did not encounter any problems with the tension at all. It sent Morse code very well. As I mentioned earlier, there is a place here to plug in a 3.5 millimeter cable, a TRS cable. There's a place on the order page of the website to add a cable to your order. The paddles comes in, I think there's 3 different other options that you can use. But this does not come with the paddle or with the leg plate. Those are sold separately. So let me go ahead and get into the grades and talk to you about what I think about the grades. We'll put the grades right up here on the left, and we'll talk about them. So as far as cost, I think the cost of this paddle is very good for what you get. Of course, it comes in a kit form, so it's expected to be maybe a little bit less than what you'd normally pay for a paddle of this type. But at the time of this video, it's selling for $34.95, which is not bad at all. Durability, I'm going to give it a B. So yeah, cost is A, durability is a B. The paddle's made almost entirely of this PETG material, which I think will withstand exposure to the sun and heat quite well. It seems to be quite durable, and should last a long time. So I think I'm pretty happy with the durability. As far as the weight, as I mentioned before, it falls within the low weight range, so it's pretty impressive. The weight grade is going to be an A. As far as the size goes, I'm going to give it a B. I want to give it an A, but it is just a little too big to be placed within those micro-sized paddles. It's just kind of a normal size paddle, so but it's easily a B in my estimation. It's a fairly small footprint. As far as agility goes, also a B. It performs better than I expected for a 3D printed paddle. In fact, there are a lot that have come a long ways as far as the 3D printed material and how the designs go. That these paddles seem to be performing much better than the early ones. But this definitely feels very good. It's a great paddle that I've enjoyed using for months and has not let me down. I wish I could give it an A, but it does have the spring tension, and while I encountered no problems sending code up to about 25 words a minute or so, I did occasionally get some problems over that speed, up in the higher speeds. So As far as customer service goes, I'm going to give it an A. Jonathan is very responsive and is and he personally answers all your questions. He's very available. He takes pride in his work and his products, and he's always packaged everything with very well for shipping. So just really good customer service, and he's a good guy. Enclosure, it's a pass. The paddle meets all the requirements I have for being an enclosed paddle. And Jonathan actually improved upon the CW Morse pocket paddle by adding these two screws here in the top and making sure that the enclosure is sealed shut and doesn't come apart. As you remember in my review of the CW Morse pocket paddle, the top part of that paddle would always come off, and there were complaints about that. But that doesn't happen here with this one, so no complaints from me. The enclosure is great. Mounting, I'm going to give it a B. It comes with the magnets, as I mentioned before, which is at the bottom, which is a good option. Plus it has, as I mentioned before, the leg straps, so easily a B for that. Beauty, this paddle has a nice look to it, and I like the improved design. The customized call sign is again something that Jonathan did for me special. I don't know that he does that normally, but I guess you could reach out and ask him if he would do it. But anyway, it's not like an overly, stylish or super impressive design, but it's pretty normal and standard. But for that, I just give it a B. So yeah, that wraps up the thoughts on this key. I really like it. I've got a lot of good use out of it. So let's go ahead and plug it into the Morserino and get a test run on it. And then after that, we'll wrap this up. Okay, that's the KM4CFT paddle. Like I've said before, I have had this paddle out in the field for several months. It's performed well for me, hasn't missed a beat. It's a good paddle maybe for somebody who is new to CW and just wanting to try it out and doesn't want to invest a lot of money. The price is great, and so I encourage you to take a look at the paddle. As I said, it's a kit, but it's a very easy kit to put together. You won't have much trouble, and so go ahead and give it a try. I appreciate all of you joining me for another Portable Morse Code Paddle video. I appreciate you guys following me and for your support. I have a few more paddles coming up. I have 3 in my bin that I haven't even got out of the package or got in the field yet. So there's more paddles to come for my review. Just kind of been taking a break. So I hope to see you again on the next one. And 73 to everybody. Bye-bye.